Welcome to Flying the Metal Flag. Moving Target is the new album from Dragon's Claw, and we got to talk, Ben and myself, to Giles, the lead singer of the band, who's a man that wears many hats. So much so, he's like the lead singer of three bands. And not only that, he also runs a record label and he's the manager of a couple of bands. I don't even know if this guy gets time to sleep. It was an awesome interview. It was great talking to Giles, and he's a fellow Aussie. What more can you have in a bloke? So sit back and relax. Here he is. This is Giles, lead singer of Dragon's Claw on Flying the Metal Flag. G'day.
Hey guys, how you doing? You good?
Not bad,
Yeah,
mate. Yeah, we're doing well. Thank you, Giles. How are you?
Oh, not bad. Just waking up here in Germany. It's actually it's 11 o'clock, but it takes me a couple of hours to, and a few of these to, come right for the day.
Couple of Baroccas.
Yeah, it's coffee. It's not bourbon or anything. So.
Ah, that's cool. Well, I'm
You
Craig, and
guys
this is
been well?
what's that, sorry?
You been well? You guys have been doing well?
Yes, we have. Thank you, mate. Yes, very well.
Cool.
Thank you. We're just listening to the
Great.
recording.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah, it's a great album. Yeah.
Well,
Fantastic.
thank you. That's really nice of you to say. It's been a long time coming, but we finally got it finished over the Christmas of last year. I took 3 weeks off of pretty much. I mean, I run a management company. I manage Girls' School and Raven and Onslaught and bands like that, and then I'm singing for Alcatraz and Warlord and a number of other projects. And I needed a break, and so I'm going to take 3 weeks off from kind of end of the first week of December through Christmas. More like 3.5 weeks. And then and about 4 days into that, I got bored. So I said to Ben, the guitar player, I said, let's finally finish this record because we've been writing this record for a long time and demoing and various stages of completion. But I'm happy we finally got it out there.
Uh, it's really brilliantly done, and I can't find
Thank
fault
you.
in a way myself. But yeah, Craig enjoyed it a lot too, and we just want you to get
Thank
it
you.
out there and really get it recognised because it is worthy. What one thing
Yo,
I've got
thank
to
you.
ask you? Oh, go.
I just saying I very much appreciate your compliments. Thank you so much. It means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, I've got to ask you about the front cover. It kind of reminds me of an Australian exploitation film called Hostage. Have you seen that film?
I saw your review where you mentioned that, and I I I'm a huge like probably between the late 70s and the until about 93 massive fan of old TV shows and thriller, action, horror. I mean, we're talking TV shows like Hardcastle and McCormick and Hot Pursuit and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I mean, MacGyver and the A-Team and I mean stuff that some very obscure stuff. As much, how people get into some really obscure metal. That's me with like the old TV and the old movies. So the cover is very much in that vein. I knew it by name, and I've definitely seen the cover in my days of trawling through video rental stores, but I had not seen Hostage. So what I did is after I read your review, I downloaded it and I intend to watch it in the next week or so because your comment I went, I see the similarity, and I went, that looks pretty good. I might give that a watch.
Yeah, it is a good film. Yeah.
But it is influenced by the cover of Moving Target. Our album is influenced by shows like Renegade and stuff like that. The classic 80s TV action, either movie or TV show. But you're kind of right on the money with that era though.
Oh,
With
beautiful
the
stuff.
mid 80s kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, it's still great stuff though, even today, isn't it?
Yeah, they don't make them. It's the old saying, they don't make them like they used to, you know. And
Yeah.
it's a bit of a lost art, I think. You know,
Yeah, like
the way the movies and TV were written back then, and the character development, the cinematography is definitely a lost art. I mean, that you would see on shows like that, so and films like that. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of the old shows and the old movies.
on you, man. On you, because old shows like Doctor Who and stuff like that, they're just
Yeah.
not made the way they used to be.
No, no, it's all become very clean and digital looking, and much the same as a lot of hard rock and heavy metal has become very quantized and clean, and you know, a lot of what we loved about this old, what is considered now, I suppose, old music is a lot of it was that it wasn't perfect, it wasn't polished. If you listen to early Accept and early, you know, like Ozzy, Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman and yeah, you know, early Merciful Fate and stuff like that. It wasn't polished within an inch of its life, and it wasn't perfect. There were bum notes here and there, and that's what made it human, rather than everything's pitched to this, you know, nth degree of what it of perfection, and all the drums are on the grid, and it's
Click
it's
tracks,
resulted in a lot of stuff sounding very similar, you know.
click tracks and over compression and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, a click used to be, you know, back in the day, a thing that just sort of kept everyone in time. Now it's almost become like
A
the
robot
leader of the band. You know, it's yeah,
conductor.
yeah, exactly.
So who have been your major influences as a singer yourself?
Oh, well, I mean, I guess a lot of people would say the same thing, but you know, Bruce Dickinson, Ronnie James Dio, Rob Halford, you know, for heavy metal, people like that. But I also got to mention people like Brian Howe, who sang for Bad Company between like 86 and 94, 93, 94. Lou Gramm, Foreigner, you know, Jimmy Jamison from Survivor, you know, Peter Cetera, Chicago. A lot of people like that from the AOR world. Bill Champlin, also Chicago. But they kind of were influenced me from a you know a technique kind of perspective and just how damn good they were, and as well as writing, you know, vocal melodies and stuff like that. But then for heavy metal, it was absolutely, you know, Ronnie James Dio and Bruce Dickinson, Rob Halford, Jeff Tate, Michael Kiske, you know, people like that, which I think are the answer a lot of people that came up with this kind of music would give you because they're just so good, those people. I mean, it's hard not to be influenced by something that's that good and that much of a foundation of this music.
Yeah, because your voice is very natural too, and I really enjoyed it on the album because you're really singing your heart out on this record, and that's one thing that I don't know whether it's missing in music today, but the emotion, and you're really showing the emotion on this record.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I do try to. If there's one thing I do, it's is I try not to just have any lines in the song that are just kind of throwaway lines. I try and make at least every word and phrase sound a certain way or at least interesting. You know, even if it's not perfect, it at least has a vibe because that I think is where that comes from. You know, sometimes you'll listen to, you know, a half-hearted performance and you can tell that if the vocalist had just spent a little bit more time on, you know, from the top of the verse to the bottom and just getting through it by making sure every line has a certain amount of enthusiasm or commitment, it can make all the difference. That's just my opinion. I kind of don't move on to the next section until I'm really, you know, I feel like there's at least a vibe at the very least. And again, it's just a matter of not using technology to squeeze all the life out of a human performance, leave it a little bit, you know, I guess we use the term rock and roll or whatever. If that's what it is and if that's the vibe, don't strip that out of it by pitching everything, you know, and time correcting everything like so many records I hear these days do, and I'm like, I go, this person's a great singer. Why do they need that? But it just seems to be the filter in which modern rock and metal is, put through these days in the production stage or in the engineering stage, and it's a shame. Because like I said, I put on an early Foreigner album, and you can just there's so much human element in those vocals. So that's, I guess, to answer your influence question, I'm influenced by that process as much as any one of those individual people that I mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And older folk like us, 40s, 50s, or whatever, sort of enjoy the analog experience more so
Yeah.
than overproduced sort of stuff and digital exacted and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And analog is obviously hard to come by now because recording to tape would be an absolute,
Yeah.
financial extravagance. But there are things in the chain that you can do. Obviously, it all goes down to digital hard drive these days, but you can have analog equipment in your recording chain that gives you that gives you that end result, that, I mean, sometimes it's simple as just, yeah, I mean, we record using amps, not, DI and you know,
That's
stuff like that. I mean, particularly when I'm working with Alcatraz and Warlord and stuff like that, it's being recorded by a mic'd up amplifier, so you can hear the air between the microphone and the cabinet. So all those things help. I understand it's not always possible. Not everyone can mic up and blast a Marshall in their house if that's where they need to record.
I know the
So
feeling.
I
I've tried that
so
before.
I do get it. To record DI and to have to do it, that way is a necessity. But there's still other things you can do from a what you do to that performance before, the final master. Just leave it with a human element is sometimes 60-70% of winning that, of overcoming that. So just my opinion. Other people feel differently. There's a ton of YouTube channels out there where people far more talented than me are mixing and mastering, and they put forth a number of persuasive arguments as to why we don't do things the old way anymore. But nevertheless, I guess I'm a product of my time, and it seems like you guys are as well. And here we all are together. So we
It
like it our way, and that's why we do it this way.
yeah, that's right.
creates a more real sounding option to me, but that's
Yeah,
people with you as well.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So how's it been with you doing the managing as well, actually balancing the time as being a singer as well?
Um, well, it's given me a unique perspective. I also run two record labels, one of which Brave Words Records you may have heard of. We put out Paul Di'Anno's last record and a number of other releases. We signed Crimson Glory for their upcoming album. So I run two record labels. I manage a number of international bands, and I'm currently singing for four. I mean, Jackstar, Alcatraz, Dragon's Claw, and Warlord are my four kind of things. And I'm also working on a project called Ilium, Australia, with Jason, and that's another record that I'm very excited about. That's coming along nicely. So it has been busy. It is a case of just kind of waking up and having your schedule for the day and for the week, and you kind of go, right, today I need to knock over all this management stuff. I'm going to get up to date with that because tomorrow I need to sing. And then the day
Feeling
after that, I want to get out. And the day after that, I want to get out on my mountain bike. So I need to be up to date, And so it's for me, I don't, for the key, I think, is not spending half your life arguing with people on Facebook over politics or whatever. I just see so much of that. Um, or arguing over anything, guitar players or whatever. I see people making comments that like, how they timestamp the comments like at 8:57 this person wrote, and then at 2 in the morning they're still going, arguing over something. I just
Get over it. Yeah.
I just don't get involved with that. I think if you want to do something, you'll find time for it. People always will always find time for the things they really want to do.
Yes.
That's why when someone says to you, if someone says to you, I got no time, generally that means I got no time for what you're proposing. People will always find time for the things they really want to do.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Otherwise, it's the old girl, you want to go out Saturday night? No, I'm washing my hair. And then she's with some other, and then you find out she went out with somebody else that night. It's
Yes.
it's people always find time for the stuff they really want to do. So if you really want to do it, you find the time. And I just find the time. So when things are fun and enjoyable, it's very easy to find the time or to put in extra time. When things start to become a drag or a burden or a source of stress, it's very easy to sort of go, oh, well, can't be bothered with that today. So that's kind of how I do it.
So here's a
Time
tough
management.
question. Here's a tough question for you. Which
Okay.
band do you
Okay.
actually like singing for the best?
Um, yeah, that is a tough question because they're all different. I mean, Dragon's Claw is was put together by myself and Ben Thomas, the guitar player. So that's kind of our thing.
Yeah,
The songs are ours. The songs are ours. It's not riding on the coattails of any previous guitar player, singer, or legacy. It's genuinely our thing. And that's not to take away from the other projects, but seeing as you asked, in Alcatraz, obviously I'm there's been two vocalists before me. There's a legacy of material, and when we go out and play live, 90% of the set list is someone else's songs. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I love singing those songs. But it's obviously more of a role that has to live up to something that came before. And it's something that needs to be a certain way, and there isn't a whole, while there is in Alcatraz, there is room for, you know, evolution and change and whatever, but it still has to be within the perimeters of what that band is and was and is expected from. And it's much the same for Warlord. Warlord's probably even a little bit more, I won't say rigid, but let's use that word anyway. But there are perimeters and boundaries that certain things aren't Warlord and certain things are. And while I'm not saying there isn't room for, again, much like Alcatraz, there is room to stretch those perimeters a wee bit. Otherwise, things get very stale and boring. There still is, is that Warlord or is that not? It's a little bit like, I guess, like Star Wars. There's certain things that are just not done,
yeah,
within that canon and realm. And when they are done, people get upset and go, well, that's not the way things should be. It's this. So a little bit like that. You gotta. I mean, I guess to use a turn of phrase that is used these days, I suppose you need to stay on brand, or you fall out of favor, or you run the risk of falling out of favor, and that's kind of what the difference is. Whereas if it's something that's totally new and it's your own project, you're the one writing that legacy and history. So yeah, I mean, so that's the difference. To say favorite, it depends on the night. Sometimes I'm on stage with Warlord and I'm going, this is where I want to be singing these songs. This is great. Other times I'm on stage with Alcatraz and I'm going, this is where I'm most comfortable. And then other times it depends. If I didn't enjoy them all, I'd be a disservice to any individual one of them. So
they're all your
how's that
favorite.
for
They're all your
yeah,
favorite.
how's that for a diplomatic answer? I love them all. They're all great.
Oh, fantastic. Well, you do a great job in all of them, mate.
Well, that's nice of you to say. Thank you. It's being on the road. I mean, a lot of people don't understand if they're not there and they haven't done a tour, but you're sometimes operating on 3 or 4 hours sleep, long drives. You've been in a car for 8 hours by the time you even get to the sound check, or a van, or a night, or a tour bus, and you haven't eaten properly, and then you've got to go up and give 90 minutes of your best. And if you're just that much below your best, people go, he's no good, you know? So you got to look after yourself, and you've got to do your best constantly, you know? I
Yeah,
don't
that's
take that
right.
lightly that people pay anywhere, but depend if it's a festival or our own headline shows or whatever, with people are paying. It doesn't matter if they pay two euros or $2 or 200 or 20 or 30. I mean, they still deserve your best every night. So I don't
Yeah.
take that lightly.
That's unreal. It's a really good attitude, man.
Well, and the other thing is, I mean, it
Not
doesn't
an
matter if
attitude.
there's 15 people or 1,500, because I've done gigs when there's been 10 people there. I've done gigs where there's been 10,000 people there. You don't say it's a gig with 10 people. You don't blame those 10 people for the 200 that didn't show up.
Yeah.
We did a show in America with Alcatraz. It was with Girls' School and Alcatraz and Lillian Axe. And we were in the absolute middle of nowhere. I don't even remember the name of the city. It was a nice town, but like no one came there. And it was going to be a day off, and days off are expensive on the road. And so the booking agent said, "Well, you know what? There's a person that wants you to play. There's a promoter that wants you to play in their town. This is not going to be a big show. It's not a rock town at all. You can drive right through and just have a day off, or you can stop and play." And we said, "Well, let's just play." And the offer was okay. I mean, obviously, if your town has 200 inhabitants and only 4% of them are into heavy rock, then it's not going to be a major turnout. We had 8 people there.
That's
And the night before we had 200, and the night after we had 300. We had like 8 people there. And
Yeah.
it was great. It
Yeah.
was great. It was just like, anyone got any questions, any requests, it was a great show.
Oh, wow.
And those eight people, three of them stay in touch and are now fans for life because we signed their albums, we talked to them, we hung out with them.
Wow.
A certain, what would have been the alternative, to walk in with an attitude because there's only 8 people?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not their fault. They came to,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's again, it
You're
doesn't
having
make
the
a
best show
difference.
ever.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference. And they said, "Thank you. No one ever comes here. Thank you for coming."
Yeah.
yeah, spot on,
So no, that's the way it should be, I think.
spot on, man. Because
So, are you coming to Australia soon with Dragon's Claw?
We'd like to do some shows. We'd really like to do some shows. I mean, Ben lives in Australia, and I live in Germany, even though I lived in Sydney for 13 years between 2000 and 2013. That's where I met Ben, and that's how we put this together. But we're all kind of geographically scattered, but yeah, it's interesting you say that, because since the record has been announced, there has been a number of requests to come and play in Australia. So I'd get on a plane. I'd love to come back and see my
Beautiful.
old friends and play some shows and all that. I hope it happens.
yeah, that'd
Oh,
be great.
fantastic. We're
And
definitely going to be there, that's for sure.
I got to
Yeah,
mention,
we'll hang out. We'll hang
sorry
out.
to-
Yeah.
I'm sorry to change the subject, but I've got to mention that picture behind you of Warrel Dane. You're a man after my own heart,
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah. Sanctuary. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was a
Oh, really?
phenomenal metal person.
Oh, we're big
Yeah,
Nevermore and Sanctuary fans. Yeah.
yeah, Sanctuary was where I discovered him, and then obviously Nevermore. And that's yeah, no, he's definitely one of the greats. And we've
Oh, for
lost too many of
sure.
them, haven't we?
Yeah,
Oh,
big
We've lost
time.
yeah.
too many of them.
Nevermore
Just the
was
other
so
day.
underrated, though.
Don't get lost.
Yeah, don't get lost. Yeah. I'm not planning to just yet.
That's good.
Yeah, Nevermore was so underrated, though, I reckon.
Yeah, and they're back. They're back with a new vocalist. So
Yeah,
let's see
yeah.
what
And they're
they
going
come
to
up
play
with.
Waken
Wacken.
next year.
Yeah, yeah. We did with Alcatraz. We did Varkin. I think it was last year. Yeah, it was last year, and
Wow.
that was great. So, no, it's always a great time there if the rain can hold off.
Fantastic. So my last question, it's always this question, what's the best thing about metal?
What's the best thing about metal? It's hard to narrow it down to one thing, but
Yeah.
I mean, let's go out on a limb here. I'll say the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause
for
by,
sure.
by definition, it's a number of things. I mean, it's a community, it's a fan base, it's a lifestyle, it's a way of dress. But at the end of the day, it's the music. Because without that, none of that stuff would there'd be no need for any of it. So I guess
Yep.
the music, the players, the people, and
And it
Spot
brings
on.
the
us together.
listeners, and it brings us together. Yeah.
Yeah,
Denim and leather brought us
fantastic.
all together, as Saxons say, and continue to say.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time, Giles. It's been great talking to you. So we wish
Thank you,
you and
guys.
everything that you do, not just Dragon's Claw, the very best. And hopefully you get to back to Australia soon with Dragon's Claw.
Yeah, and let's
So
hang
we'll
out.
make mention, of course, the album Moving Target is released this Friday, the 8th of August.
Is it? I thought it was the 22nd.
Oh, is
Okay,
it?
maybe it's earlier.
Mine actually said the 8th of August on my email. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then
But
maybe it's a little
if
bit
it's
earlier.
released on the 22nd of August, we'll mention that too.
Okay, cool. Maybe it's got the label might be putting it out in various dates around the world, so it could have, you know,
But when it's
staggered
released,
release.
go buy it. It's a fantastic record. We really enjoyed it. So thank you for making it.
Thank you so much.
No
Thank you
worries.
so
Thanks for
much.
your time. All the best, mate.
All right,
Right on, man.
take care, guys. Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching this interview here on Flying the Metal Flag. I really hope you enjoyed it, and so does Ben. So we would greatly appreciate it if you click the like button, or even better, subscribe to this channel, because there's so many interviews that are coming soon. So please stick around for them and even more, and even the ones that are here already. So please take care and keep it excessive, but most of all, let your metal flag fly high.